We have a new Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, just released in theaters this weekend. So today I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. And you're free to comment down below. What did you think of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? Comment down all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description, as well as that TikTok. That link is also in the description as well. All of my shorts are going to be uploaded over there, including some other more miscellaneous videos that I don't want to put on the channel, but on the TikTok. Please don't forget to check out that review for Ghostbusters Afterlife. That link is in the description with the link to my other Ghostbusters ranking, so you guys can kind of get a feel of where my thought process is at going into this year's ranking for Ghostbusters. With all of that out of the way, guys, without further ado, let's get right into our review.
Heads up. It's all dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
Look, Ghostbusters was something that my mom grew up with. I did not grow up with Ghostbusters. I did not grow up with the original Ghostbusters. I grew up with the 2016 Ghostbusters, and also I grew up with the Lego Dimensions Ghostbusters. I truly got introduced to Ghostbusters Lego Dimensions 2015. That's when I truly got introduced to the idea, the realm of Ghostbusters, and it seemed pretty cool to me because the next year we had a reboot coming out. With all of that being said, let's get right into the good. And the reason why I said all of that before is because I want people to know that this is not my childhood. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for the original Ghostbusters. So, Ghostbusters is a franchise that I enjoy very much. Mixing in the supernatural with some fun and lovable characters works for me. I'm also a big fan of seeing old actors return for reboots and revivals of the franchises. So out of the gate, I love how the OG cast, in particular Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, are all trying and they're present. They feel like they want to be here, and Ernie Hudson, for him to be the oldest out of the cast, he looks incredible. He looks amazing. Like, it seems like he's anti-aging, and he's almost 80. This film also returns back to the vibes of the OG, with them returning to New York, so we got some classic Ghostbusters action. But while it feels true to the original Ghostbusters, it also does something new with the whole icy New York City thing and new ghosts. It's trying to be different, and that's something that we haven't seen before. And I walked out of this film having a pretty enjoyable time. It was fun, it felt somewhat fresh, and to me, there wasn't even that much nostalgia here. And that's where I'll kind of get into my rant a little bit about how people are saying it's just a nostalgia-filled movie. Showing Mr. Stay Puft, that's nostalgia bait. The original actors returning for this continuation, that's nostalgia bait. It's weird for me because it's not nostalgia. Like, characters just don't appear on the screen and they have epic music playing. They're a part of the film. They are a huge part of the film. They never pause to let the audience applaud. Bill Murray just shows up. Dan Aykroyd is a player inside of the film. Ernie Hudson just shows up. Like, literally, they are characters in the film. It is a continuation of the 80s Ghostbusters. I don't understand how people are saying that it is nostalgia bait. Because they show the original Ghostbusters, because we hear the original sounds from this exact universe, because we hear the same sound that the Echo 1 makes from the 80s. It's a staple in Ghostbusters. You literally can't have Ghostbusters in New York City fighting ghosts without this stuff. There are times, though, where they do get a little bit corny and cheesy. I will get into that later, but this was definitely different from the rest of the films, and I respect it for that. Paul Rudd is fun as ever. I think there are some funny moments inside of this film, and it's polished enough. Like, literally, it's professionally made, but I don't have that many positives because I just walked out having a good time. It is just another Ghostbusters film. It doesn't do anything grandiose with the franchise, but it also doesn't do anything to offend the fans. And for me, being a fan, I wasn't offended when I walked out. I was like, okay, that is a Ghostbusters movie. It worked for me. But with that being said, not everything worked for me. So let's get right into the bad. And the bad thing that comes to mind here is that the movie just has some serious plot and script issues. I've only heard Sean Chandler say this, that, you know, he wishes that the film went through another round of drafts. It felt like they just turned in the first draft and let it breathe. And you know what? I can understand that. I can understand how he sees that, because they spend basically the entire film just setting up the villain. In fact, it's all exposition. Literally, this movie is 1 hour and 55 minutes long. I would say for 1 hour and 30 minutes of the film, they are setting up the villain and the lore and the new mythology of this new ghost. And then the last 20 minutes is just them fighting the ghost. It's spent fighting this new deity. And the new deity isn't even exactly great. He's just there. I don't know if I even like the new mythology. I thought the new mythology was just rushed, forced in, and just wasn't all fleshed out. Like Sean Chandler said, it felt like they turned in the first draft and just let it go. And that sucks, man. That really does suck, because Afterlife was actually pretty good for me. There are multiple times where they set up a new arc, they set up a new plot point, and then by the end, it's resolved in 2 seconds, but it doesn't feel satisfying enough. And like I said before, with all of the exposition and them setting up the villain, we're never truly in this ice environment for too long. I love the marketing of the teaser trailer where they just show New York in ice. I think that's epic. I think that was awesome, and it provided some nice scenery, because we're normally seeing them in sunny New York, nighttime New York. We're seeing them on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and I think it was Iowa. They were in Iowa in Afterlife, so they were just like in the middle of fields. And then we return to New York, and now it's like an icy type of place. And I think this film could have worked if it was set during winter instead of summer. And while the entire film is haunted, like I said, it's overcrowded and overstuffed with plot lines that aren't fully realized or paid off by the end. Certain new characters aren't all that interesting. Certain characters have links to the mythology and the new lore and the new villain. I did not find it at all interesting. In fact, I rolled my eyes many times. McKenna Grace, I'm actually glad that she looks like she's grown up inside of this film, because in every other film, she looks like she's 10 years old. And for the past 6-7 years, she's looked this way. But in this film, though, she just didn't work for me, honestly. I'm not a big fan of characters that are just so smart, that are just geniuses, and they just seem depressed all the time. And then they get that one sense of like, oh my god, I'm finally living, I can do this, I'm confident and everything. I get it, that's how some teenagers are. I'm pretty sure that's how I was. I'm pretty sure I gave my mom a hard time. I don't know, it's just I don't like seeing that in films. And I never, when I was a teenager, I never disrespected my mom. Just the way that she's written in this film, and the way that she just disrespects her mom and disrespects everyone around her. She feels so selfish, and they bag on her in the movie for it, but I had to witness 1 hour and 30 minutes of it, and then she's forgiven by the end. It's like the way that she's written in this film, it just makes her sound like a moody teenage asshole, and I don't like those type of characters. I didn't like it when they did it in Barbie. I don't like it now. And McKenna Grace, she's a fine actress, but in this film, I just found her annoying. Honestly annoying. There are times where the film does kind of get a little bit corny and cheesy, because, I mean, it is Ghostbusters. It is a continuation of the 80s. They're back in New York. They're doing classic Ghostbuster things. So you get ties to the theme song. You get ties to the other Ghostbusters films, which I thought was pretty nice, but it was kind of corny and cheesy a bit. I guess that can be kind of like in a mixed section for me. That's not a true negative. From the exposition to the writing, the film just didn't capture what made the original and Afterlife special for me. In conclusion, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire doesn't knock it out of the park thanks to poor writing and overstuffed cast and exposition that does nothing for the film. But it's far from bad, and I think it excels from how it's trying to be fresh and different. I love the OG cast returning. They're all great in the film. Paul Rudd is funny. Dan Aykroyd is great. The effects look great. Literally the new ghosts and the new environment of the icy New York, the scenery of it looks great. I think there's a lot of things that's really good about this movie. Fortunately for me, it didn't offend me. I'm still a fan of the franchise. It's not a nostalgic trip. There's a lot to like here. Unfortunately, due to the writing, it lost some of the heart and charm of the original and Afterlife, of course. But people are saying that they should hang up the proton packs. I don't think so. I think they can definitely answer the call again. I'm going to give Frozen Empire a B-. Like I said, I had fun with the film. A B- and a 7 out of 10. And I would say, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you might like it. If you are a diehard Ghostbusters fan, then you might be offended. For me, being a Ghostbusters fan, I liked it. I don't think they should put down the proton packs yet. Pick them back up again, and let's end the franchise. If you want to do a third one in the Afterlife series, end the franchise. But go back to that heart, that wit, that charm that made the original and Afterlife so special. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion, and you're free to comment down below. What did you think of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? Are you a Ghostbusters fan? Are you a huge Ghostbusters fan? Comment that down below in the comment section. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and that TikTok. Those links are in the description, along with the Ghostbusters ranking, so you can kind of see my thoughts on the other Ghostbusters films, including Afterlife. With all of that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.